What's going on, everyone? This is Fuego Steve. You have to move over a little bit, Lou, so we can see you.
Right or left?
There you go. The way you just moved. Um, keep going. Keep going the other way. What's going on, everyone? We're trying to get Lou lined up. I was supposed to do this beforehand, but he's still not even close to lined up. Move over, brother.
This way?
No, the other way.
This way.
Yes, there you
There we go.
Now we
There
can
we
see
go.
your
Lined
beautiful
up.
face. All right. We are talking main slate MLB, 8 games. Today's April 23rd. Bear with us. I'm hoping everyone can hear Lou, and we're going to get this thing squared away. But for tonight, let's start off. We got the Yankees. It's Twins at Yankees. Before we get in, Lou, congrats! You had a nice little weekend there. You got like what 5 or 6 tickets to the 444 Monster, and you won some cash.
Yeah.
So you had a good little weekend there.
Yeah, so I did that strategy where I accumulated 6 tickets over the last month to the Monster. That 6 tickets turned into 1,600. It was 2 wins, 2 Monster wins. They were nowhere near the front. I almost actually fell out of all of them. And then that 1,600, I took a chance and did a 535 single entry, or not single, 5-person league, and won that. So I hit 2,500. And then I did a crazy night and I got 6 444 tickets for next month's, which is on the 20. I have it right here on my calendar.
So
it's on the 25th of May.
Right. So, of course, someone's telling me they can't hear you again, which is, I'm not sure why. It looks like everything's working all right, so maybe we'll give it a second to work itself out there. Our first game, Jake Odorizzi, Twins at the New York Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka. I like Tanaka tonight. I'm going to have him in some lineups. Not really on the Twins side. I could get behind Yankee bats. What about you?
First, ask the guy or whoever said that in the chat. Ask him if he can hear me now. I put my headphones in.
No, that has nothing to do with it, brother, man. I actually like the way you were talking before, but go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's this Skype. We're going to get it going, guys. I'm going to try to speak closer, but until we do, bear with us. The Yankee Jake Odorizzi game. Everything tells me that Jake Odorizzi could be a DK pitcher number 2. But I just don't think he's going to keep it in the yard. Like, he does have great stats against the Yankees. I'll bring him up right now. Odorizzi. 1 second. He does pitch
all
well.
Right, Scott Atkins says he can hear you just fine. So, all right.
Yeah, so you know what? Whoever
I liked you the way you were talking before, by the way, but go ahead.
Listen, I went out today, guys, and bought a new freaking phone. I got the new iPhone 10 just to make it clear so you guys see my beautiful face and so you can hear me. So let's hope this works eventually.
Yeah, all right. It sounds like it's working.
But
so you like
yes.
Odorizzi SP2 on DK,
Okay, so,
huh? Tell me why.
Well, as a pitcher, he has a 211 batting average against the Yankees, over 83 at bats. That's a large sample size. He's only allowed 3 home runs, 1 to Judge, 1 to Sanchez, and the batting average is allowed besides Judge at 400 at a very small sample size of 7 at bats. He has actually shut down a majority of the team. Sanchez batting 286, Tyler Austin batting 250, Brett Gardner batting 207, Aaron Hicks batting 250, Giancarlo Stanton 143, Didi Gregorius 125. I can go on, but the thing is that I actually can't go on because that's the last person. But Jake Odorizzi, with all that said, stats in his favor, strikeouts are there. He struck out at least every single one of those Yankees twice, except for Tyler Austin. I do like him. It's just, can you fade or can you pick a pitcher against a team like the New York Yankees that's so hot right now. I don't know. What do you think, Fuego?
No, I would not. I personally, I am not going to go there. I think there's a couple other SP2s I could get behind before I would get behind him going against the Yankees personally.
I will tell you that Odorizzi hits the contact, so if he beats the Yankees, he'll have a nice line. It'll be 7 innings, 3 strikeouts, 5 hits allowed, 1 or no runs. Like that's what Odorizzi will do for you. The quality start and the win. He's not going to give you 12 strikeouts. Like don't expect that from him. But he is a good pitcher at times. It's just in Yankee Stadium. I just don't think it matters. It's such a small stadium, and the Yankees have so much power that I think you really just can't play him.
You like Tanaka?
Especially on FanDuel. I mean, FanDuel, you're not even thinking about it. There's only one, maybe 2 pitchers, maybe 3 you consider on FanDuel. But
Tanaka, one of them?
Tanaka, I would consider he has good stats against Minnesota. Minnesota's been playing poorly lately, and they've yet to show the long ball against him beside Logan Morrison.
He hasn't really had some great games yet this year. I mean, his first outing was his best game.
I'm sticking to the chalk today. Carlos Carrasco, we'll talk about it when we get there, but I'm going to try to stick to the chalk. And Carlos Carrasco, the top 2 guys on DraftKings, top 2 guys, I believe, on FanDuel as well. Carlos Carrasco and Garrett Cole will be my pitchers. I'm just locking him in because when I see 2 pitchers that can potentially get you maximum points and they look pretty safe, I just like to lock them in. So that's the way I'm going tonight. But I would see more merit in playing Tanaka, I guess, on FanDuel. But if you want to play Jake Odorizzi for DK pitcher number 2, I'll tell you the stats are in his favor. If he can keep the ball in the ballpark, he can produce a nice game at valuable pricing.
All right. Next game, Cleveland Indians at Baltimore Orioles. Carrasco, who you mentioned, going up against Kevin Gaskin Gosman. Carrasco definitely in play on both sites for sure. I think you can target the Orioles against pretty much any pitcher, but definitely the good one. So Carrasco will be chalk, but definitely playable for sure versus the Orioles, who strike out a ton. On the other side, maybe if you wanted to go Gosman on a DK, he's only 5,800. It's risky, but maybe I think I like Leak better. It's close, though. What do you think about this game? You rostering Cleveland bats against Gosman. You're definitely going Carrasco. What about anyone else from the Orioles?
First, let me say that San Diego has actually outtaken the Baltimore Orioles for the most strikeouts in the league. So the Orioles are second. So they're actually decreasing their strikeouts significantly. In my major lineups, which tonight are the 150 DK, I'm actually running Baltimore players as a hedge. I will be playing, like I said, a lot of the top 2 pitchers. But just remember that Baltimore is slowing their strikeouts down, and San Diego is kind of amping it up a little bit. They've gone up to 236 strikeouts on the year. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that because I keep mentioning in my articles how much Baltimore strikes out, but they're actually slowing down. But in terms of Carlos Carrasco, I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and roster him tonight in most of my FanDuel lineups, and this is why. This isn't your normal Baltimore lineup. Look at it. After you get past the first 5, I mean, Danny Valencia is somewhat of a threat. Not so much against a righty, but you have Chance Cisco, Anthony Santander, and Craig Gentry. That sounds like that sounds like 3 members of a Latvian boy band. I expect all 3 of those players to strike out twice each against Carlos Carrasco. and it ruins the flow of the game. So as much as I want to stack Baltimore, those three last players just scare me to where I think I'm just going to roster Carlos Carrasco and not stack Baltimore as much. I am going to have at least 8%, 10% of Baltimore because I have so much Carrasco. But considering those 7, 8, 9 batters, it scares me too much to like these Baltimore batters.
Yeah, I don't really like a hedge with them, to be honest with you. I get it if you're doing multi, but I'd rather just go Carrasco. And I think you could go Cleveland batters against Kevin Gossman. Gossman is always hit or miss. Like, he'll give up some, then he'll slow down, or it's like –
I think he could strike out a bunch tonight, or I think he could let up a bunch of home runs.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does.
And the perfect person to take advantage of those home runs are Jose Ramirez. So
I think you could do Edwin as well. Yonder Alonso's price is up, but you could play him as well.
Just one more little side note, just in case you're going to the next game. This is the best weather game. It's 65 degrees, which is relatively warm, but it's 12-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards left center, which would benefit those righties. So that's an extra little stat that's going to allow you to want to roster these Cleveland Indians like Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. I even wouldn't mind Michael Brantley.
Right. Oakland A's at Texas Rangers. I think you could roster either batters. It's Matt Moore versus Trevor Cahill. Neither of those guys scare me too much. I think you could go with Texas stack. You could go with an Oakland stack. I did want to mention if you follow implied Vegas totals, there's 4 or 5 teams with over 5 runs, and then San Diego at like 4.9 runs, maybe drop to 4.8. So you got a lot of teams. I'm hoping it spreads out some ownership, but the Colorado Padres game will be popular. The Yankees will be popular. This game will draw some ownership, but I like both sides for sure. Joey Gallo and above, no doubt. Top 5. Oakland, Chad Pinder's 2,100 on FanDuel, batting 8th. You get some value there. And I am not going to go with either of these pitchers. I think maybe Cahill and DK, but it's risky. What do you think?
No. The pictures are so clear tonight. It's like I know I have to talk about other pitchers, but
no, you can say you don't like them, and we can move on. We don't have to spend an hour on every game.
No, I just think that like on DK, try to find a way to get Carrasco and Cole. Cole is not the pitcher he was from 3 years ago. He's a seasoned, in the prime of his career pitcher now. He's going up against the Angels. They've scored 10 points in their last 6 games, worst in the league. They're not on the run that they were on a month ago. So that's that lock for me. and then you have Carrasco against Baltimore. They strike out all the time. So I can talk to you about these pitchers if you want me to, but the truth is I have.
So when DraftKings, you're paying up for both pitchers and paying down for hitters.
Yeah, and there's stacks that you can pay down for, and the pitchers aren't even that high priced. It's not like they're both at 13. But let me look at it right now. It's like
12-6 and 11-7.
Yeah, it's nothing you can't work around. So I like Chad Bettis is the only one that I'm gonna have a little bit of, just because San Diego's been striking out so much, and I'm gonna have a whole bunch of San Diego's batters on FanDuel. So I think I am going to run Chad.
Well,
Bettis
I do think you could go Tanaka at 8,800, pair him with Cole or Carrasco if you want. But we'll talk about Cole a little more in a minute. And the batters, you like the batters on either side? You like Texas? You like Oakland?
Adrian Beltre, one-off. Joey Gallo's coming into form. I have no problem there. Matt Moore, you always like count on him to be the worst pitcher in the freaking world, and then he has a couple good games. So he's a lefty going up against a righty-heavy Oakland team.
Yeah.
You have Steven Piscotty that's been playing well in the second spot. You have Chris Davis in the 4. You have Chapman in the 5. You have Kana in the 7, and Pinder, Lucroy. This A's lineup, I just gotta say, is an unbelievable lineup. I can't see them not succeeding at some point this year, over the course of the year, because they really do have a talented lineup, and I know they don't have the best pitching, and I say that after one of their pitchers has a no-hitter, but I do think that you can stack this A's team. And I also don't mind the lefty stack on Texas. Chin-Soo Shu's been playing well. You can play Mazara. He's always cheap price. You can play Beltre at 4 and then Gallo at 5. That would be my Texas stack. No?
Yep. You can play Delino Shields, who's back, batting second at only 2,000 in price. So you could get him in your lineup as well. So I don't mind. Let me get the FanDuel prices. Yeah, I don't mind just Shields not batting second. Leading off in front of Chu, Mazzara, Beltry, and Gallo. So I like that for some salary savings as well. You got the Angels at the Astros. Astros should be popular going against Tyler Skaggs. Garrett Cole should be popular as well, pitching for the Astros. I think you could roster some Astros, though I don't think I'm going to be stacking them. It'll be more one-offs tonight for me, just based on pricing and based on the way my lineups are constructing. I do think you can pitch Cole for sure, and I'm going to stay away from Tyler Skaggs. Is Cole a lock for you?
Yes, Cole is a 100% lock for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to play 3 Houston players on FanDuel. That is Skaggs. Let's see. Skaggs isn't allowing a ton of obvious points. His home ERA is at 8. I mean, these sample sizes are so small, so you can't really look at this too seriously. In April, his ERA is high, so he hasn't been playing particularly well.
He has been going pretty deep in games pitch-wise, not inning-wise. He's been getting over 100 pitches, but I would target him all day with Houston.
His 3. Let me look at this.
Don't pitch Tyler Skaggs, people. Don't pitch Tyler Skaggs.
No, I like to look at these 3-year averages. So it's lefty-righty splits. He's allowing 286 to lefties with minimal home runs. His home runs are allowed to righties. And against Houston, he's allowed a 4.34 3-year average with 4 game starts, the worst amongst any team besides Seattle, which is weird because Seattle is a lefty-based team and Houston's a righty-based team. Overall, I'm going to stay away from it. Houston hasn't been scoring this week. I think they scored 1 or 2 runs last night, and the other night they didn't play too well either. The only player on Houston maybe I would consider...
I think you could go Altuve, Correa. You think you can go Bregman at 3rd.
No, I think you can, but you're paying up for these players.
Right, well, that's why I said I'm probably not doing it.
So I would do maybe Marisnik. Like, Marisnik's the minimum price guy that he'll either strike out 4 times or hit a home run. So right. I don't mind Marisnik in the worst case scenario. But I'm not going to be playing Astros tonight just because I like to do 4-player stacks. And playing Garrett Cole on FanDuel, you can't do a 4-player stack, obviously.
Right.
But I will say Bregman's in that 5-hole, giving him good RBI opportunities. You have Gurriel in the 4-hole.
You can play Gaddis at catcher on DK.
I like everyone. It's a great lineup. I mean, I would go Gaddis over McCann for sure. Yeah, because it's a lefty-lefty for McCann. And I mean, I guess it makes me like Marisnik even more because if McCann doesn't perform well, hopefully that leaves players on base for Marisnik. But that, it's do you want to pay up for these players when there's other places to pay for, and I think you have to pay up for a pitcher tonight.
Yeah. Next game, I think, would be sneaky stack game. The Mariners at White Sox. Mike Leake versus Carson Fulmer. If I had to pitch someone on DK, maybe Mike Leake as an SP2, but not Fulmer. I think I like both offenses in this game. The righties versus Fulmer is fine. Cruz is fine. Segura is fine. And then the lefties, of course, Cano, Seager, D. Gordon leading off. You could play Mitch Haniger, Dan Vogelbach batting seventh. It's cheap lefty. Ben Gamel back in the lineup batting ninth at 2.1 on FanDuel lefty. So you can get some cheaper bats here, and you can play the righties. So I do like Seattle quite a bit, and I think you can have some one-offs or some mini stacks with White Sox. I'm not sure I'm going to stack the whole game, but I had a nice little stack there that I liked. I think you could play either side of this game. Thoughts?
So I'm looking at Carson Fulmer. So far this year, he has a problem throwing to lefties, but his 2017 stats and 3-year stats don't really show that. So I'm not going to count on that just because I think that stat might even itself out. In terms of the BVPs, they're inexistent. What's the proper way to say that? Unexistent or inexistent, or non-existent? Oh, look at us, man. That's why we went to college and stuff. But by the way, on that Marisnik point from before, he's batting 1,000. Against the Skags with 4 for 4 and a double and a home run. So that's a nice little one-off you can play. Jake Marisnik, I forgot to mention that.
There you go.
But yeah,
and you did mention it, but go
ahead. No, I'm just saying the BVPs I didn't mention. But Mike Leake, there's not stats that really are having me go there. What I see is Fulmer to lefties so far. Small sample size, 16 at bats. He's allowing a 4.38 average, no home runs, 3 doubles. 4.38 tie, 7 hits and 16 at bats. But that's nothing to really cry home about. He has a 36 ERA against Oakland. It's still not time to trust all these stats. I'm going to stay away from this game. It is in Progressive. Or what's the name of this stupid stadium? Guaranteed Rate Field, right? It's in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
How could you name a fucking stadium? I'm sorry, earmuffs, but how could you name a stadium Guaranteed Rate Field?
That's who paid for it. They get their name on it. That's how it works, brother. You should know that.
That's the worst name ever.
That's how it works, man. They could name it Jaguar Lou Field if you had the money.
Yeah, well, you know what? I might have to buy it someday.
So are you okay with the hitters on both sides of this game?
Yeah, I have no problem with it. Delmonico's still in the 4 spot, and he's got a lefty-righty matchup, and he's remaining minimum price. It's because he's not performing. But
right.
White Sox are a plausible, cheap stack that you could always go to. And from Seattle, I had a lot of Gamel in my lineup in that 9-hole just because he fit as a minimum-priced utility player. But I have no problem with either of these lineups. Guaranteed Rate Field is actually a good place for players to hit. So I have no problem stacking this game or any players from this game. They have some cheap bats you can get that can get home runs like Vogelbach, Haniger, Seager, Cruz, Cano. Those aren't cheap. Those last 3 weren't cheap, but they could all get home runs. And then you have Zunino, a catcher that can always hit a home run. And on the other side, you have some cheap bats as well and some players that you really can't. I'm not going to say that I think they're going to do great. I'm not investing in them, but I have no problem if you have to roster a Chicago White Sox stack to fit one of your pitchers or something like that. So,
let's see. The next game is we're not going to spend too much time. It's San Diego versus Colorado, and it's in Colorado. Brian Mitchell versus Chad Bettis. Basically, if you can get Colorado, you're going to stack them. They're going to be popular for a reason. and on the other side, San Diego's cheap, so people are going to stack them. There's no one that's 5,000 on San Diego. Now, granted, they, as you mentioned, have been striking out. They suck, and I have my write-up that was done. I'll see if I can get it posted here in time. Maybe I'll get it up by 6 if I can. But I mentioned, you don't automatically get good just because you're going to play in Colorado. So that is the one negative, because San Diego is not very good. But they are cheap, so they will fit in lineups. They're both going to be popular, San Diego and Colorado. I am probably going elsewhere, except for maybe some one-offs. What about you? You targeting this game? You're going elsewhere? Colorado has the highest implied Vegas total at 6.3. Go ahead.
Colorado will be one of my, because I told you I have many lineups in the queue tonight. I will have a large percentage of Colorado. Colorado's already seen Mitchell this year. They own a 9 ERA, 1 game start. Mitchell lost, obviously. 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, allowed a 381 average. That was, let's check these game logs out. That was the first game of the season, so I don't love to see that. But since then, because I'd much rather it be the most recent game, but since then he hasn't impressed at all. He's lost the last 3 games, allowing 3 runs in his last 2. And he's playing teams that he's playing Colorado in course. So if you really want to start getting sneaky, start looking at bullpen matchups, because I don't think Brian Mitchell will ever perform in this game. And I think you could actually just start thinking right to the bullpen.
Yeah, you could definitely, I think you could play either team, no doubt. Colorado definitely in a good spot. Like you said, they beat him up pretty good first game of the season. This is not a sneaky game to roll one of the pitchers, I don't think. Not today. Play either side of the bats, and you'll be fine. But I with less lineups, I probably will maybe have 1 or 2 San Diego, or, like I said, do some one-offs. David Dahl, who's batting 4th now, is only 2.8 on DraftKings, by the way, for Colorado.
Wait, who's batting 4th?
David Dahl.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
$2,800 on DraftKings.
But I'm going to say this. Bettis. Chad Bettis is my pitcher on DraftKings right now, because what I think I'm doing is I'm running a lot of San Diego on FanDuel, so I figured why not just run Bettis on Colorado as my pitcher number 2 on DraftKings in the qualifier. Because they are striking out a lot, so if I do well, I'll do well on FanDuel in that queue, and then I have Cole and Bettis in my 2 pitching slots on DraftKings.
The glorious mind of Jaguar Lou.
Well, look, San Diego's been striking out a ton. I'm looking at Bettis' stats. He actually is a plausible play even on FanDuel. I mean,
right, and they're only 21. They have hit him okay. They're 21 for 70, 3 homers, a 300 average off him. So they have hit him okay.
The only thing that scares me, look, this is why I'm doing exposure to San Diego on FanDuel, and then Chad Bettis on DraftKings. Because if this wasn't in Coors, I'd be fine. I'd say whatever. I think Chad Bettis will have a great game. You look at his last 2. He shut out Pittsburgh.
Will Myers is 8 for 16 off him with 2
his last 2. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm playing Will Myers on FanDuel a lot, and Will Myers I do like, and it's in Coors. And if it wasn't in Coors, I wouldn't be doing this. But so what I'm I said what I'm doing. So I'm San Diego is going to be on a lot of stacking on FanDuel, but I'm just saying, you look at his last 2 games on DraftKings for Chad Bettis, it's 22.3, 24.
Yeah, definitely.
They're good. He's having good and look at his price is rising. He went from 6,000 to 69 to 75 now. And it's not like the matchup's getting worse. It's getting better. Chad should perform today.
All right.
I actually think Will Myers is a one-off, and you don't stack.
Didn't you say you were loading up on both pitchers, though?
Yeah, but no. I said I was loading up on Colorado stack.
No, but you said you were loading up on high-end pitchers on DraftKings, so you're not good. Why would you go bet? Change your mind that quick?
Well, this is the thing. It's like on FanDuel, I literally have 100% of either Cole or Carrasco. So knowing that, should I not just roster Bettis
No,
and
you
avoid?
roster whoever's going to do the best, man.
No,
It
no,
doesn't matter
that's
what
not
site
how
it's
you think.
on. Yes,
That's not how.
yes. You
That's
can't.
not how I think
I know
because
that's
you
not
can
how you
never.
think, but that's the. I understand hedging, but if you think that one team's going to do well, you should. I make this mistake a lot, and then they go off of FanDuel and they don't, and then don't you want to qualify for DraftKings? Don't you want that team to do well? So,
Yeah, but he works as a perfect pitcher number two.
all right, all
So
right.
so if I have to waste $150 to solidify some sort of exposure to San Diego shitting the bed tonight, then DraftKings is the place to do it. Is
I
what I'm
got you.
saying
I
as a
totally got
DraftKings
you.
too.
Marlins at Dodgers. Harlan Garcia versus Walker Bueller. Um, I guess you could play bats on either side. I mean, I don't know much about Walker Bueller. Do you? For the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm checking this out right now.
Yeah, was he a rookie or something? So, um,
You got to look up Bueller. I'm not good with that stuff. Uh,
yeah, I probably should have been
me,
prepared.
me, meaning I'm too
Yes, it's
lazy.
his first
I'd,
major
I'd
league
rather
start.
I'd
Yes, his
rather
first
take
major
the
league start.
Charlie
He's a
Garcia.
good prospect. Yeah, I think I knew that. But it is
Well,
his
look
first
here.
major
I
league start,
think
so it's risky for sure. It's very, 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 very risky.
yeah.
And
You
he's
know
a
what?
Dodger pitcher, which makes it risky. So
Look,
if you want to play a little
it's
Miami,
also
you could.
it's also in LA. LA is a big stadium, pitcher stadium. I don't. I wouldn't go
I
there. The,
do
the
like the
Dodgers
Dodger
haven't been
bats
hitting.
on the other side.
The Dodgers have not been hitting well. Beside that weekend series, they've been hitting very poorly. So I wouldn't count on that. They've really been hitting bad. I counted on them last night, and they did not do well. But yeah, they're not hitting well, and they're hitting in clumps. So I don't think I like these Dodger bats. But Walker Bueller, I'll have to go into a little research on him. But considering I am rostering the two expensive pitchers on DraftKings, Miami might have to be one of those stacks that I fill my team with because it's tough to fill your team with stacks when you're rostering Carrasco and Cole.
Yeah, you can. It's more of like a mini stack thing, or one decent or one low price stack, maybe like a San Diego or something, and then some others. But yeah, so with a pitcher like that, you don't know. Dodgers do have a good bullpen, so I wouldn't get too. I'm not like jumping up and down to play Miami. It's more of an game, but I could see it. Next game doesn't really excite me either. It's the Nationals at the San Francisco Giants. Gio Gonzalez versus Chris Stratton. Maybe I could go Gio. He doesn't excite me. I mean, DraftKings, he's probably too expensive. On FanDuel, maybe at 8,800, just to be different. He never puts up these monster games, but he usually doesn't disappoint you too much. When he's off, he like gets 30. So I could see going Gio to be different. He got 16, 16, 16, 25 on DraftKings, so I could see that being an SP2. He's gone 31, 30, 31, 46 on FanDuel. So I think that's his floor, that 30 points, and then if he's good, he can get you 45. So I don't mind it. What do you think about this game?
These late night games I hate because I try to avoid them, but I always want to have exposure to them because they'll kill you. Gio Gonzalez, I just think is the hedge off the obvious chalk elite players. San Francisco is not the same San Francisco of years past. They're a different team. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look up the stat right now. They're striking out in large numbers. Let me just look it up really quick. San Francisco is seventh worst in the league over their last 7 games in strikeouts, striking out 63 times. And over the season, they are. And keep in mind, San Francisco is never a team that actually struck out last year. But they do have these right-handed vets that they brought in. Over the season, they're ranked 8th worst in the league at 204 strikeouts. So remember that, don't think about San Francisco not striking out anymore. They do strike out. Now, that doesn't mean I like Gio Gonzalez tonight just because they have all these righties that I just am a little bit afraid of. Like, half this team has seen him multiple times. I mean, more than multiple times. Andrew McCutchen has seen him 24 at bats. He bats 300. Evan Longoria 4 times. That's nothing. 4 times.
Yeah, but McCutchen's the only one, and he's yet to homer off him.
No, but you even have Buster Posey, 27 at bats, 296 home run. You have. It's not so. Look, he has good stats against these guys, but there's not a large amount of strikeouts considering the sample size for the at bats are high. There is minimal walks, which I guess is a good thing. San Francisco is a big stadium. I think Gio is a safe play. If you need to come down to Gio, I think you can. I have no problem with it, but I just think the upside for strikeouts is much higher on Garrett Cole and Carrasco.
For sure. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And you're paying for it.
Maybe Gio Gonzalez is more of a DK play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind but no, see, the problem is he's too expensive on DraftKings. I wish it was $8,800 on DraftKings as opposed to $10,000, which is annoying because he's not really a $10,000 pitcher. He's 10.8. He's been over 10. I mean, Tanaka's 8.8. You're telling me Tanaka's 8.8 and Gio's 10.8? I mean, that's crazy. So that's the part that bothers me. I'd rather just go Carrasco and Cole and make it work, or go Carrasco, Tanaka, and Cole, or something like that. What about Chris Stratton on the other side versus Washington? He's pitched all right. 26, 25 DraftKings points his last 2 games.
Chris Stratton against Washington broke my heart at the championship.
Oh, sorry.
That was the pitcher that beat my Washington stack after Bryce Harper went down. Chris Stratton's a good pitcher. I have no problem with it. I just don't think I'm going to go there tonight. I don't think his upside is high. But I will say that I'm looking at the last 7-day run totals, and the Angels, White Sox, and Pittsburgh come in really low. I just wanted to note that. And San Diego, for that matter. You know what? The more I look at this, targeting San Diego with Bettis is a better idea even on FanDuel than playing this San Diego stack. I see this more as a Will Myers one-off.
Right. Yeah. I have more of one-offs than I do stacks at this point. But all right, that is going to do it for today's edition of MLB Live at 5. Check us out in Slack chat. Steve Renner, Rob Garriak, Lou, myself. We got articles up. There's at least 2 or 3 up already. And that's going to do it. Good luck tonight. Get that money. Peace.